Hello. Okay, so I'm going to do a little video here just to show you kind of the landscaping and the garden items that we have around the house. I was hoping to shoot this last night, but I'll show you in a little bit what kind of interfered with me getting this done yesterday. So up here in the rocks, we decided to go with these. They're kind of like little mini tut grasses, and I think they're called coleus, if I remember right. The little pink flowers around them. They're kind of struggling a little bit. And then up here in the front of the house, we did a little bit of, sorry for the shaky moves, of perennials, and we added a couple annuals in here. It's funny because what's these called? Lemon candy 9-barks. We're supposed to only be 3 feet tall along the side of the house, but as you can see there, some of them are 5-6 feet tall already. Put a couple of these, what are they called? Supertunias. I think they're latte supertunias. I kind of interject in between them. You can't see all of them now, but our grasses have grown like crazy up here in the front. We have some Russian sage right there. And then this thing I think it's pretty cool. It's a vertical grass, and it's actually an annual, and that thing came in a little 4-inch pot when I first bought it, and it has grown like crazy. It gets huge, but definitely is a statement piece right there. But I don't know if Ryan thinks it's too big, but I think it's cool. A couple of these things have flowered and already kind of waned out, but as you can see, we kind of rearranged some of our grasses here so that they're together more. That's cat's mint right in here, and then back there is our 9-barks, which will take a little bit longer to grow. Those are some darker green with has some red sticks in the winter, so we have some winter interest up here. But yeah, so again, those 9-barks again, definitely over 3 feet tall. You can't even see the what are those called in there? I can't even think what they're called right now. These plants right here are kind of in between them. And I'll give you a little sneak peek of what the deck, the wraparound deck here. You can see you can see my garden. I have some garden steps on there, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But all right, so we'll walk around this way. Brenna has her rock tumbler going in here. She's on stage 3 of that, and her mess is all over there. Oh, I can also show you, well, hold 1 second here. That's a little bit of landscaping there. Those are some bushes that we got when we first moved in years ago that have grown like crazy. And the tree, a volunteer tree that is nicely shaped. So then over here then you can see we've got our finished sidewalk with the hostas and the peace lilies and Brenna's mess from yesterday, and it looks like she was digging through rocks. I don't know why, but and then there's a dogwood tree that we have to constantly cut back. The sidewalk goes along here. We finished the step to go up to the garage and to the shed. And the sidewalk goes around here. This is why I did not get this done last night, because last night, actually Brenna was shooting a video. I'll have to see if I can find the clip for it. But all of a sudden she heard a loud cracking, and one of the branches fell out of the little tree, but it fell in the best spot ever. So, and there's a Joey kitty right in there. So anyhow, this goes, I don't know why he's got all of this stuff right here stacked up, but looks so pretty. But you can see the finished patio now. we still have to seal it and do that. Um, but right here we did a little bit of landscaping where the sidewalk meets the side here. So as you can see, the cat is sitting right there by it's a weeping willow bush, and then a couple little, I think these are drop seed grasses that we put there that will eventually grow up. These are boxwoods, that's what they're called. So we added a couple boxwoods back there. Again, we need to clean up some of our messes still here, but I'll come around. Yep, so up on the patio here. And we move this table down here. We're going to put all of these, we're going to position these a little bit better, but we've got these planters with some fountain grasses, and then these are the two hardy hibiscus that I picked up on clearance. The flowers aren't flowering right now. You can see some of them had just withered away, but they get to be like huge 8 to 9 inch flowers, and they're really pretty, dark, kind of red burgundy. So we'll move around over here. Just to give you kind of a view, that's where the branch fell down of the huge, gigantic willow tree. We were hoping it was going to be that dead one that had fallen down, but not so much. I'll give you a little, have to show you the view in a second of what that looks like, but there's a sneak peek of what that back garden looks like. And then as you come over here, again, there's another one of those pots with the fountain grasses. I need to dig out these because they just didn't take the heat. They were really pretty blue flowers, but so there's my fountains that I'm going to try to repurpose. But here is that garden that you were seeing in the back before. These are all radishes up front. I got some French breakfast in there, some white icicles, and then kind of along the back side here is daikon radishes. And then I put in some onions that I kind of gimped along as much as I could, so we'll see if they get any bigger. And then this is the trellising system that you can see that I did. I did these 2 sticks, 2 supports with the wire, and I did it in the back too. So up here against the front, then these are sweet peas, and then I've got back here, those are, oh my goodness, what are those called? Beets. Trying to grow some carrots in there. They're kind of slow. There's my rhubarb. We want to eventually move the rhubarb to the back garden. And then these back here are all, this is bush bean types. There's a little bit of a runner there. It went up and over to the trellising. And then that's that big red yard bean that I was telling you about that's crawled all the way up and over and starting to come back. But yeah, that's supposed to grow like, 3-foot long red beans. So, all right. So that's that garden up here, and that one got planted after Ryan redid these steps. And so back over there, that wood pile you saw, that's all the used parts of it, but it looks good. We have to wait, obviously, to stain it. Yep, so more of the patio. Then as you come down here, you can see this is where he built that wall. These are all the blueberry bushes, which we've gotten quite a few blueberries off of. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blueberry bushes. This is a mix of like Chippewa, Superior, I think there's a Patriot in there. And then these are prolific strawberries. They grow in like crazy, and I actually have some runners underneath the deck and all around down here that I need to root in, and I'll probably grow them over in here. There's some more bare spots back in there. I could probably put some, and then here. And we have that an oh so easy paprika rose. And this has some powdery mildew on it, but that was my peonies. And again, that wraps around. Even a little hosta over there. And then over there, more hostas. They go around the rest of the house, but I will take you back here to show you. Okay, oh, there's the apple tree. There's your favorite apple tree. That's the Haroldson apple tree. Tons of apples. We actually probably should have thinned it out, but they're all growing really, really well this year. Last year, there was an off year. Oh, there's a dead branch, but they're kind of hanging a little low. But anyways, up against the fence here, that's where we have the back garden. And this is a bobo hydrangea, so it's a stays pretty small. And then back there we have a juniper that we put in the corner, and we have one on each side. And then you were wondering where all the watermelon was going to go. Well, it kind of went in and found its way all along here in front of the raspberries. And you can see I trellised up here. And these are a variety. I think most of these over here on the left are heritage. And then they kind of go over, I think there's a Cajo, and some Williamson or something like that. Strawberries that are smaller way down there at the end. Again, first year, so we haven't gotten too many berries. But we do already have some melons coming on here. So like right here is our biggest one that I'm seeing so far. And this is, I believe this has to be a sugar or a crimson sweet melon. And there's some others randomly in here. See if I can find some more. They're just starting to really get going. Obviously, it's still flowering. Like there's a teeny baby right there, and another baby right there. This is actually a spirea that kind of got overtaken. So eventually that will get big. And then I actually have a rogue tomato plant in here. You can see kind of looks like it's going to be cherry tomato. No, they're going to be probably Roma tomatoes, I think. That somehow got mixed up with my watermelons, but I'm just going to let it grow and see what it does. So, but yeah, back in there you can see the raspberries along that trellis system there. But all of these melons have kind of gone in. And right in here then is these are the sugar babies in here. Oh, and I do have a little rogue, or not a rogue, I shouldn't say, but I planted a patty pan squash plant back here just to see. Oh, there's another little watermelon growing. And there's a little bit bigger, decent sized one right there growing. I interjected some of these nasturtium. These actually taste a lot like wasabi. They're kind of have a spicy bite to them. So they go really good on, like, say, fish tacos, or what else would they be good on? I mean, throw them in a salad. Both the flowers and the leaves are edible. Coming in here, I have like a Cajo watermelon. I think that might be a Cajo watermelon right there. I'm not, where is it at right there? I'm not 100% sure, but I have a tag in there for Cajo watermelon. And then we move into my moon and stars watermelon. Let me see if I can capture this. If you look really closely, the leaves right there actually have little yellow spots on them, and the melon will get like spots on them with a big yellow spot, and that's where it gets its name of moon and stars. And then I've got Kajari melons. We have never tried those before, but they're supposed to be really sweet, personal sized melons. And I got my first one on here, and let me show you it. I have to kind of step in here and find it. I just noticed, here we go. I just noticed it last night. This little baby Kajari melon. Again, they won't get too big, but they grow like this, and then when they get bigger, they get to be like a deep, bright orange. So they become orange striped versus this green striped. So hopefully I get more of those and they grow more prolific, but that was the first one I saw last night. And then we move into some variety of, I need to move these off the grass before Ryan mows the lawn again, but I've got two different types of cantaloupes in here. And so as you can see, I'm actually getting some cantaloupes on there. There's one, actually a whole bunch of cantaloupes. Let me show you, there's one right here. That's a pretty decent size. And then like one right there. So we're getting quite a bit of those coming up. Right back there, tucked in there too, which I need to give it some more nourishment, is elderberry plant. a black lace elderberry, but it doesn't look as black as it should. So then, of course, I got a couple of fallen apples in here, but I've got sunflowers that Delaney planted in here. And then we've got, these are the honeyberry plants. So again, they're small. They haven't produced any fruit yet, but there's 3 in the front here and then 3 along the back here. And that's a big weed that Delaney thought was a sunflower, but now we're figuring out it's a weed. So we need to pull that. All right, so let me back up here because I'm getting underneath our other apple tree, which is full of apples too. So this is the honey gold apple tree. So these are nice and big. So again, there's a picture of the deck, and you can get another glimpse of all the greenery up there. Okay, fallen tree. So, all right, so you come around the apple tree on the other side, so the honeyberries kind of come over into here. And this is where I've got, back there are some kabocha squash. They're like the green Japanese. They look kind of like a, what do you call them? Honey nut squash, not a honey nut. The other, I think it's a honey nut. Maybe it is. And you can see squash is growing all the way back there too. So this utilizes space underneath this tree. There, right there, this plant right there, this is actually one of the Armenian cucumbers plants that I put back here to see how it would do. These are some calengias, these greens that go up and down right here. There's a flower. They kind of die off pretty quickly, but if I need to start saving these grow flowers, and then you can save the flowers and dry the flowers and then make a salve out of them that are really good for such things as like eczema or burns or any of those things. Another little nasturtium plant. And here's one of my delicante squashes already growing. Looks like it's getting closer to being done. And I have some honey nut squashes back in here. They're growing. There's another squash way back there. You probably can't see it. Nope, I always go the wrong direction. Where is it? In there, right there. So getting a couple of those. I think that's, let's see. Okay, and then right here I tucked in another elderberry plant. This is the Black Beauty elderberry plant. Again, I need to nourish it, obviously, or move it along. So here's a tall weed. That out of there. So, all right. So the squashes kind of go up in here. Ooh, sorry if that's a dizzy move. So come in here. This is my panel arch. As you can see, the grapes are growing its way up along the trellis. Hopefully it will be, if not this year, the next couple of years when it starts growing, it will cover the whole trellis. But I don't expect that we'll get any fruit off of these until maybe sometime next year. Let me move out a little bit here so you can see better. Yep, so those are all, and then I tucked in some cabbage plants here. They were late season cabbage plants that I got on clearance, and they're starting to form up, but I figure these will probably grow into the right before a frost, and I think they're pretty frost hardy too, so if I didn't get them until sometime in October. And then we have a couple little drop seed plants in the front here. And then those are those columbines that look like they look like honeysuckles, what I thought was honeysuckles growing up. And then look at our plum tree. I've been spraying it down this year. Actually, we have 2 plum trees. The other plum tree I rocked underneath only had a few this year. I don't know if there's actually any on it left. The girls have been eating those as they have been ripening. But here is our plum tree. I've been spraying it with orchard spray because it got kind of a fungus on some of them. But looks like it's saved a lot of them. Last year, none of them ended up being edible. So this year, they all of a sudden just turned purple. So now I'm just waiting for them to soften up, and we can pick them. And back here, this is my other trellis system with my blackberries. And as you can see, we need to pick up a bunch of the fallen plums. Oop, and I need a trellis. Oh, not quite yet. Let me see. Oh, and I put another one of these big vertical grasses back here. This one hasn't gotten quite as big as the one up front, so it obviously loves sun a little bit more. And then a juniper plant we tucked in back here on this corner. So I have one in each corner. So let's see. This is probably ready for me to tie that up to there. This one's already that up tall above the. So we've had a couple blackberries on here. Like you can see, there's some growing right there, but not quite ready. And then, excuse me, as I back out of here, turn around here, I'm kind of in between the garden and the trampoline. This is where I've got the potatoes growing. So these are getting pretty close to being ready to be picked. I think they've been in here now. These are Norland red potatoes, and they've been in here since, I want to say mid-May. So I think they're 70-day potatoes. These are some sweet potatoes. Actually, there was a huge long vine, but I don't know if something came and chopped them off, or nobody's fessing up to doing it because it used to trellis out and go over the side. But those are sweet potatoes. Those probably won't be ready for at least another month because I think they're like a 90-day to 100-day. They take a long time. So we did a mulch. We did kind of this little green walkway to kind of get back here. I think back here is where we're going to tuck the rhubarb in when we replant that somewhere in the fall, but we don't want to transplant it until the fall. And then we have a little green green walkway, and we put mulch all underneath the trampoline, so we don't need to move that anymore. And there's a cat hanging out in the yard because there's some birds in a tree. Oh, here's a plum. So these get bigger plums, and they're not quite as purple. Yeah, that one's probably ready to be picked. And there's another one right there, up there in the tree. So, yeah, I don't know why. This one had tons of flowers and tons of buds. I see another one over there. Tons of them on here. A little tiny one there. But only a few of them kind of held on. Oh, there's there's about a handful left. Then we did a little bit more landscaping kind of on this side. So I tucked in another one of these vertical grasses. And then we put a couple more of the boxwoods. There's a weed. And then this is our Korean lilac bush. So we got to see that bloom when we first planted it, but since it only blooms in the spring, now it's just more of a green interest. And Ryan's been reseeding this area. And then again, there's our fallen branch. All right, so coming back on here. Eventually what we're going to do with this whole patio, I'll give you kind of a view right here. Again, it somehow became a storage area. We moved the table down that we had on the deck that I got from Mark and Mary years and years ago, and we're going to see if we can maybe recoup that. And it's got to be restained, and we were trying to press a board down, so we put a bunch of stuff on there. And then we want to build an actual brick fireplace on here. We want to get some, I think I want to do more of the couch and chairs type of setting down here for patio furniture, but we're waiting to the clearance end of season. So along the edge here, you can see we've got kind of like a step up to get up to the patio, and it curves around. So let's go look and show you what the garden is, which I have probably a lot. I have a lot of plants packed in here. So again, you can see Brenna strikes again. She was out here playing with, this is a lot of her birthday stuff. She's cards and rocks and stuff, and snow cone. So this was an indoor plant. I need to trim it a little bit, get the brown leaves off, but this is a palm tree that it's very spiky and kind of a pain in the butt to deal with inside, and it's actually doing much better out here right now. And then I just had to have one of these pretty, almost like an elephant. It's a calocasia, I believe, but it's a jungle, they call it jungle ears, I think is what they call it. But they're so pretty. They keep coming up with new leaves, and they're big, as you can see. And there's some smaller ones there, but just kind of tuck that in here. There's our bird feeders up there. And then over here, that's that boho chair I think I told you about. Of course, now Ryan's second thinking if you want to put it over, because we were thinking of putting it off of a branch, one of these branches, to hang it down. But right now we have it just kind of jimmy rigged here up onto the deck. Brenna sits in here a lot, so. All right, I will show you, I guess, going over this way. These are a couple late edition. I bought these peppers. This is the sweet banana pepper, and this is a Pinot Noir pepper plant. We actually picked them off not that long ago, and looks like I need to give them some nourishment. And these are some later season tomato plants that I planted all in here now. So these are going to be like some more of a cherry type of tomato, grape tomato. Got a few plants in here. So we're expecting a lot. Then these are kind of more of a snack size tomatoes. And these are the trellising system I was telling you about. So what I did, since those tomato cages don't hold much, is I bought some wire, the same stuff I used down in the garden where the peas and the beans were growing up on. And I cut these and then kind of stuck them in these grow pots, which I have a lot. These are all the grow pots I have up here on the deck, and these work really nicely. You can keep the dirt in them over the winter even, and then just kind of replenish them a little bit. But they wick out water really well, and I'm not sure if Ryan's gonna like all the water spots on the deck, but oh well. But yeah, and then I stuck in these trellis systems and did them like about 3/4 the way around, filled it with dirt, and then planted the plants, and they are doing a nice job of holding up the tomato plants. So these are my half barrels up here. We planted these again with some fountain grasses in the middle, and then these are a variety of different kinds of supertunias. You can see they grow pretty well. I love these. These are proven winners. And I have some purple and some white with pink in there. So, and then our chairs, and then these are some more tomato plants. I think these are more of the slicer type of style tomatoes. They're just starting to kind of get going. And then we've got some, these are going to be orange. They'll turn orange little cherry tomatoes when they grow. But these are, all of these tomato plants I've showed you thus far are some proven winner ones that I planted from seed, and then just took a little bit while to get going. So I have a nasturtium up here. I kind of tuck them all over the place just because they end up attracting the bad bugs, so you can get them on those plants. This is, you can see my cucumbers are starting to peter out, but I should probably have succession planted those. But these are the national pickling cucumbers. So we've got one right there that's growing up, and then I got another one up there that's going. So it seems like they're all intertwined. Let me take a step back here and show you what this, what this looks like. So this is where I did all my steps. As you can see, everything is completely filled in. So I've got 3 tiers, and did some concrete steps. So let's go, I can show you in here. You can see the concrete patio bricks right in there. And so there's 3 layers of those, so it goes up there too as well. All right, move around here. Okay, so I'll give you all the tiers. So on the first tier here, this is my silver slicer cucumbers. Let me see if I can find and show you what those look like. There's just a few of them that are starting to grow here. They were somewhere last night. They get to be, they're like white cucumbers. I'm not finding any right now at the moment. There's some around here somewhere. I know I saw one last night, so those are starting to peter out too as well. This right here is a whole bunch of problemo peppers. So you can see I'm going to harvest these soon. I think I'm going to make some problemo poppers out of those. These are my shishito peppers. So those are growing pretty well. Got a whole bunch of those on there. These are my hot fire away peppers, so these are going to be kind of what I'm using as jalapeno peppers. There's a whole bunch in here. They turned red. They start out these green, yellow green, of course. These are my habanado, so they're the non-hot habanero, so they have just the sweetness of a habanero pepper, but they're just starting to grow. As you can see, little buds in there. I had some kale in here, but then I had a whole bunch of caterpillars that pretty much destroyed it. So I tucked in some patty pan squash in here as well. I have 3 of them growing right here. I actually only thought I had 2, but I guess another one came up. And then this was a volunteer sunflower that decided to grow in here. They kept for Delaney, so see if we can save any of the seeds. And then over here is all my cucamelons, and those were growing like crazy, and I think they slowed down. So they're all these little tiny vines that they grow on. See if I can find any. The girls were picking them like every single day. They're little teeny tiny. They look like watermelons. Oh, there's a cucumber in there, but that belongs to a different plant. And then down in here is my Market More cucumber. Again, those you have a bunch of cucumbers on here. There's one right there. It probably needs to be picked. Coming off here, this is my okra plants. So I'm starting to get some okra on here. Right in there. And this is a mulberry plant that's supposed to be a zone 5. So we'll see if I can keep it inside or what I can do with that. This was my trying to do a herb, but I'm going to get myself a grow tower of my birthday money and get like a real tall, stable one that's known to do this. But these have fallen over a few times, but they're much of mint and catmint and some basil, stuff like that. So let's see, what else did I miss? So this is some holy basil right here. This can make some good tea. Okay, in the second row then we have these, I'll show you, they look like this. They're yellow pear tomatoes. There's some way down in there that are starting to yellow that I need to harvest. This plant right here is a sun gold. So these are the sun gold cherry tomatoes that grow on this one. This is a blue beauty. So you can see they get this, the shoulders get kind of a purpley, and I actually have one that's ready to pick right here. So get that pretty blush color on them. And even the stems get this really pretty blue. There's a reason for that. I can't think of the word is, but it gets the chemicals in there that turns it blue and the more sun. This are my Thornburg lemon tomatoes. So you can see these ones are ready to pick. And then these 2 plants right here are my pineapple ground cherries. And so as you can see, we have some right here growing. Actually, this one's probably ready to be picked. See if I can get it off right now. Yep. So a bunch of the ground cherries. The girls really like these. Actually, probably Brenna more. These are my green giant tomatoes back here so I'm on the back row now. And then right in here, you can see these are my Cherokee purple tomatoes. So I've got some back there that are blushing and ready to go right there. A bunch of them. The next one is my mortgage lifter tomatoes. And there's a red one right there. Bunch of green ones that are still coming. These are the Amish paste tomatoes, and they're definitely some of them ready to be picked. So, and then these last 2 plants right over here are the tomatillo. And so I got 2 of those because you need 2 of them in order for them to produce fruit. And so I've got a bunch of these lanterns in here that are growing, and just kind of wait until they start peeking out of the casing, and then you know that they are ready to be picked. So, but a whole bunch of that. What else else? I think that might be about it. But yeah, so that is my garden kind of in a nutshell. I've crammed a whole bunch of plants in here. I counted it up at one point in time, and counting like all the various herbs, I probably have about 60 different varieties and types. So, but yeah, as you can see back there, that is it. Thank you. Talk to you guys later.